All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this is going to be episode 1 in the new series that I'm starting called Simp Chronicles. This will be volume 1 in a series that I'm pretty sure will run for perpetuity. This episode will feature Mr. BJ/Melvin Upton. And certain brothers listening might say to themselves, what does he mean, BJ/Melvin? Well, we're going to find out exactly what I'm referring to over the course of this segment right here. BJ Upton is a rather high-profile baseball player in Major League Baseball who decided that he was going to change his first name after being prompted by his quote-unquote wife that he should do so because his name does not quote-unquote sound right. He changed his name to Melvin from BJ, and she prompted him to change his name back to BJ because according to her, in her opinion, the name Melvin quote-unquote doesn't sound right. So they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports Avenue with Van Lathan. What up? Michael J. Babcock.
What's up?
You ever hear of BJ Upton?
This is the game.
Also known as Melvin Upton.
Melvin Upton. What do you mean, Melvin?
Yeah, Melvin Upton is his birth name. He was the second overall pick in the draft a long time ago. Yeah, he's just
I've always known him as BJ Upton. It was BJ.
Yeah,
it was Melvin.
Boy, birth name is Melvin. Changed it to BJ, then changed it back to Melvin, and then changed it back to BJ again. And so we asked him, we're like, look, man, we saw him at the airport. We said, why the name change? Why do you keep going back and forth over and over again? And his explanation is interesting.
Change your name again, man. All right, so what?
Now, brothers, did you see how he responded when the interviewer asked him why did he change his name? He immediately got defensive. You know why he got defensive? Because he knew that he had no business changing his name for the reason why he changed it. And once again, my channel is not about blaming the woman. There are many channels popping up with so-called black men trying to act as if they're going to drop some deep level of knowledge about the woman, and their content is normally about what the woman needs to do. Brothers, I've been telling you this from the very beginning. If you live your life expecting other demographics to change for you, you're going to live a very bitter life. Okay? I'm going to say it again. If you live your life expecting other demographics and other people that you know or even don't know to change to accommodate you, that is never going to happen. People only change because they're prompted to change or they're forced to change due to a shift in power. The so-called black man has the least amount of power on the planet Earth. That is why I'm starting this series. Because various forces are trying to occupy the so-called black man's mind with nonsensical ideologies that are never going to bear fruit. They're never going to bear fruit, brothers. If you spend your time trying to go back and forth with the woman all day, pertaining to what you feel like she needs to do, the only thing that she's going to do is try to controvert your argument, try to deflect your argument, and you're going to end up in a circular conversation. Over the course of your life, your stress levels are going to go up, your blood pressure is going to go up, and you're going to die a very early/premature death. I promise you that. Life is about adaptation. And if you truly want the woman to change, the so-called black man is going to have to put up a unified front to allow the woman to understand that there's a code that is in operation. And in order for her to be able to re-ingratiate herself with the so-called black man, she's going to have to abide by that code. So that means that we're going to have to address and attack simping. Simping is very pervasive in the so-called black community. Why is that? Because we're living under a quote-unquote black matriarchy. We're living under a certain familial archetype where the mother and the grandmother are held in such high esteem that whatever they say is unquestioned. And you have to understand that the average grandmother right now was raised at the beginning of the black feminist movement in the mid to late 70s. And things have escalated and gotten worse and worse over the last 40 years or so. So the so-called black man is going to have to change his paradigm. And it starts by taking back control of the household. How do we do that? By making sure that we empower ourselves with either your job or your career, making sure that we have our own place, and making the woman understand that we respect you, we love you, as long as you respect yourself, and love us how we're supposed to be loved. But first, the black man has to love himself. A lot of so-called black men don't love themselves. And they're made to believe that just because a woman says yes when you quote-unquote propose to her, that she loves you. That's not the case. Most women marry for convenience. Okay? Most women marry for convenience. And by the time the man realizes exactly what this convention is that he succumbed to, quote unquote marriage, is too late. And now he has to obey this woman. And that's the condition of Mr. BJ Upton. And as I've told you, brothers, in the past, all a simp is a woman trapped inside of a man's body. That's all a simp is. That's why you'll notice that for the most part, simps, homosexuals, and liberal women are all in lockstep. They're all in full agreement. You'll see a lot of simps. They'll be on comment boards and they'll say, why do you hate women? It's not that a strong man hates women. It's that the simp does not understand what a woman is supposed to be. The female paradigm that he's been presented with his whole life of the loud, confrontational, overly bellicose, cantankerous woman is what he expects from women. So now when he sees a man question that paradigm or that archetype, he says to himself, there's something wrong with the man. He never says there's something wrong with the woman. When in all reality, the real issue is that there's something wrong with him. The simp has to be converted so that the trickle-down effect, the ripple effect, can affect the woman, because the woman will not change until the man changes. So brothers have to change in order for the woman to change. And of course, there are still going to be females who are rebellious, but they really can't be exposed until the men understand what to expect from themselves and therefore what to expect from the woman. Don't you know that the woman is supposed to wake up every day trying to figure out how to make you happy? This brother clearly was never taught that, because he's changing his name back and forth to appeal to a damn woman, man. The woman told him that his name doesn't sound right. What is she really saying? She's saying that you're not good enough for me, but I'm married to you because of what you have to offer me. But he has not figured that out yet because he's a damn simp.
What inspired that?
My wife.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
She wanted you to?
Yeah, she said Melvin didn't sound right.
Okay.
This nigga looked dead into the camera and said Melvin didn't sound right, but even he felt embarrassed by that because he became so defensive when the interviewer asked him why he changed his name in the first place. You see that, brothers? So even within the heart and the mind and the spirit of a simp, they know that a lot of what they're doing is wrong, but oftentimes they're on that path and they feel like, well, nobody's ever taught me anything different. My mother and my grandmother, they never taught me that I was not supposed to accept this, so I'm just going to go along with it. And there are a lot of guys right now, so-called married men, who are in a house suffering in silence because they were never taught anything. They were never instructed that a woman is supposed to be trying to make them happy, that you're not supposed to go home to a woman yelling and screaming and being belligerent and so on and so forth. They were never taught that. As long as you're doing your job as a man, you're bringing home the money that's needed to maintain the home, the bills, etc., the woman should be greeting you with a smile, some fellatio, some sex, a hot meal. That's what she should be greeting you with every night when you get home. Every night. And it's up to you to say, no, thank you. Not tonight, baby. I'm good. That's up to you. But she should be prepared to grant you those things every time you come home, as long as you're fulfilling your role as a man. That being a leader, a provider, a guide to her and the children.
Melvin didn't sound right, so change your name to BJ, and now he goes by BJ.
He might as well change the name to BJ, because it's very clear that she got the dick in the family and he has to suck on it. And let me rewind this back a little bit.
Yeah, Melvin. Boy, birth name is Melvin. Change it to BJ, then change it back to Melvin, and then change it back to BJ again. And so we asked him, we're like, look, man, we saw him at the airport. We said, why the name change? Why do you keep going back and forth over and over again? And his explanation is interesting.
It's pathetic.
Change your name again, man.
All right, so what?
What inspired that?
My wife.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
That's not his wife. That's his handler. I said that already. That is not his wife. That is his handler. A real wife is supposed to be a helpmeet, a consort, and a servant to the man. Many people might not like that, but that is what the biblical definition of a wife is. The wife is a servant to the man. When a man tells a woman to do something, she's supposed to say, yes, honey. That's really how that's supposed to go. That's why in the original marriage vows, they had the woman say that she was to love, honor, and obey her man. They took out the obey part. So now many of you dudes are marrying females with penis envy. Females who wish that they were born men. And you sit up in the living room every day with that female arguing over what you guys are going to watch on television, arguing over the remote control, arguing over what you're going to have for dinner, arguing over who's going to go in the shower first, arguing because you cannot have two bulls in a pen. And it's because you were raised to be a simp. So now you're going through emotional turmoil because you were not prepped properly. All of this can be alleviated by the man accepting what his role is and no longer tolerating bullshit from the woman.
Yeah. She wanted you to?
Yeah, she said Melvin didn't sound right.
Okay.
In other words, nigga, you're not good enough.
Melvin didn't sound right, so change your name to BJ, and now he goes by BJ.
He's BJ Upton. I don't like it. You like this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like people being controlled, but if it's...
what if you're his parent?
I bet you she made him change his middle name too, to Get Your Ass. So his new name is BJ Get Your Ass Upton.
Parents, like, that's the name. If I'm his mom, that's the name I gave you.
No, it's not the name that he gave him, no.
Now, did you brothers hear what the Caucasian person at the bottom left stated? He said, if I'm his mom, I'm saying that's the name that I gave you. That's a simp rationalization. That's a simp trying to explain a simp dilemma. Because simps will oftentimes not be able to understand whether they should obey their mother or their wife. Because the mother and the wife will oftentimes be trying to contest one another over control of the asset, that being the young man. In all reality, you should not be changing your name because you don't want to change it. Not because that's the name that your mother gave you, but because that's your name, period.
Melvin.
Melvin is.
Melvin, yeah.
Melvin is
like,
the name.
Your wife doesn't like the name that I gave you?
At the same time, though, his parents are also the people that gave him the BJ nickname.
Man,
so
it's weird.
It's Boss
This
Man
is weird.
Jr.
I don't like it. He's like, my wife told me to change my name, so I changed the name. Look, I would appreciate it.
Because the wife is the new head of the household in the so-called black community. I don't know why people can't see that. As a matter of fact, the wife is the head of the household in most of these so-called communities. They really are, because America is ruled under the energy of the mother goddess, at least for the masses. When you get to the elite, to the true Luciferians, they adhere to the concept of the father god, the mother goddess, and their son. But for the masses, they want the woman to be an authority because the woman is very, very easy to manipulate. You only have to appeal to her emotions. Therefore, the men that worship them or follow them, they're the same way. That's why you'll find that so many black males today are so emotional. Everything is about their feelings. It's never about facts or what they know or what they understand. It's always just about how they feel.
More if he's like, we had a discussion and I felt like I wanted to change it.
Like,
but
Evan,
just kind of like,
wait, Mike.
hey, BJ, I don't like Melvin. Stop calling yourself Melvin.
Okay, stop. Evan's capping.
What do you mean I'm capping?
Evan, you're capping right now.
What am I
What's that
doing?
mean?
I don't know what other names you get called by, but if Sam decided
you
she
think if
wanted
she
you
said,
to go
"I don't
by
like
a
Evan"?
different name, she didn't like Evan, you come in here going by Rosie Rosenblum.
Yeah.
Like we.
I agree with that. The dude at the top left is a big simp as well. But the dude in the middle, he's a semi-simp. He's fighting. Like a lot of so-called younger black males today, they're fighting the simp shit. But Van Lathan, he's a liberal black male. So being a liberal black male or woke per se, that's in relation to being a simp. It's like it's on the same tree. Two different branches on the same tree. They're normally related. But he's a little bit less of a simp than the other two, but he's correct. The person at the top left would definitely change his name if his wife gave him the order. Because once again, the term wife today means master. The literal meaning of the word wife is servant. But the word wife today actually means master. That's why these dudes say happy wife, happy life. You're a damn fool if you adhere to a credo like that, because the woman is never happy. The only time that the woman achieves real happiness is when she understands that she has to make sure that her man is happy. That's when she attains happiness. In the same way, the only way for the so-called black man to truly be happy and content with himself is to understand who his God is, who his power is, who his head is, who he's supposed to be serving. When the woman understands who she's supposed to be serving, that's when she's happy. Because if she does not understand that, she's going to be idle-minded, she's going to run the streets, she's going to be a $2 hoe, and she's going to be constantly confused, depressed, having to take pills and medication, which many of these modern-day liberal females do. So if the so-called black man is truly serious about how much he quote-unquote loves the black woman, then you understand that you have to be in command. You have to be in control. It's not about that fake king-queen shit. In order for the woman to be a queen, she has to clean herself up. And you have to instruct her on how to do that. And you're not going to accomplish that by being no damn simp and changing your name because she wants you to change your name.
We know, like you're capping. Sam somewhere. We love you, Sam.
Yeah.
Don't let Evan cap.
Do.
Evan.
Sam told me to change my name to Rosie Rosenblum. I'd say no.
Yes, you will.
My name is Evan Rosenblum.
Rosie
Rosenblum.
Rosenblum.
Rosie, the name I'm going.
You know what? I think Rosie Rosenblum.
I love it.
Is a fantastic name.
Think so?
Right.
But anyway, that's basically it on that, because as usual, they're descending into a lot of nonsense. Point being is this, brothers. A woman that actually cares about you is not going to go out of her way to try to make you change your identity or who you are. Now, the vast majority of these females, they engage in sport by trying to get men to change. They might come to your home and tell you to change the alignment of your furniture. They might tell you to shave your facial hair. They might say they don't like how you dress. These are all things to basically see if you're going to do it. Because if the woman was not interested in you, she would not be in your house in the first place. She would not be talking to you in a romantic way in the first place. But the woman is like a child. She searches out where the barriers are. To what extent can she go before there's pushback? And if you don't provide pushback, she's going to keep going and going and going and going like a dog off a leash or like a child out of its crib. It's just going to keep exploring. So you have to set parameters for the woman of what you're not going to tolerate. And if she does not want to deal with what you're not going to tolerate, then have a nice day. Goodbye. And if the so-called black men understood that, we'd have a lot fewer problems in the relationship structure. But because so many cats out here are simps and are trying to appease the woman, they don't get it. And as I tell brothers all the time, any man who does not understand a woman cannot possibly understand the Bible. Therefore, that man has no wisdom. No wisdom whatsoever. That's why so many dudes are trying to overcompensate by going into these long, drawn-out explanations on the woman and trying to provide a summary or a summation on it by saying that the woman can be changed or altered. No, she cannot. The woman can only be changed once she sees uniform code of conduct amongst men. Because the woman will always search out mischief and chaos where she can. So if you have a chain of 99 of 100 links, and 99 links are strong, the woman will diligently search out that one weak link. That's what she will do. Okay? But anyway, peace.